Alright folks, welcome to another video. I was going to make this a quick video. This is of course in my support of my Asian brothers and sisters, specifically the Chinese folks who are of course suffering through the coronavirus. And of course some misinformation is getting out there on the internet, such as the virus was spread through people eating bats, specifically bat soup. That is, of course, a hoax that's been spreading on the internet. At this point, the Chinese government don't know. They just assume that it was spread from animal to human, and they don't even know if that is the case. They don't even know what kind of animal that it is. They kind of narrowed it down to some live meat, a meat market of live animals in Wuhan, and at this point they don't know what it is. So you see on the internet, all these people talking about, hey, the Chinese are eating bats and getting coronavirus. And of course, the video they show is a Chinese lady who did some sort of a travel show, and the show went to Palau, which is, I guess, some island in the middle of the Pacific. And there is where she ate the bat soup, and this is back in 2016. And the lady, who was on that show, she came out and apologized. Hey, I apologize. I didn't know eating bats could cause coronavirus. Well, guess what, lady? We don't know if eating bats. That's just, again, fake news, that propaganda that started on the internet. And again, and I'll go over this, difference between a bigot and a racist. We'll do racist first. A racist is someone who believes that they're superior to someone else, rather than another race. This is based on their skin color. Now, a bigot is someone who believes that their views, rather be their culture view or their world view, is better than someone else, or that their view of something is wrong or is off. And a lot of times, if you're told, hey, what you're thinking of this group of people is wrong, and then you still think the way you think, then at that point you become a bigot and a racist. So anyways, now you got all these people on the web talking about, hey man, Asians. And again, I have nothing against eating dogs. That is, again, Westerners projecting their prejudice, their bigotry onto another culture. That is, in return, not projecting their view and prejudice onto the West. The Asians are eating, yes, the certain parts in China, certain parts in Asia, they do eat dogs, they do eat rats, they do eat bats. I guess that island of Palau, I guess one of their dish is a bat soup. And and I keep telling people, hey, look, Asians may eat all this food that Westerners consider weird, but before you project your bigotry onto other people, look in the mirror, look at your, what's that saying? Is that clean up your own house before you go and complain about somebody else's house. And I believe that the Chinese government are doing a good job of I guess taking care of this outbreak and this plague. Because if you think about it, Wuhan is 10 million people, and that is considered a medium-sized city in China. No way. Now, actually, if this was a outbreak, let's say in Europe, we probably would have a second black plague. And I have a feeling that this outbreak, because a lot of Chinese, they like to congregate in liberal states and cities. So a lot of them that left Wuhan have already made it back to the States. If a homeless person, say in LA, Portland, Seattle, or San Francisco, were to come down with this, and it spreads like wildfire through the homeless community, and we know how liberals are, they're incompetent. And I guess my question is, could the U.S. shut down a medium-sized city? A medium-sized city in the U.S. would be something like 2, 3, 4 million people. Take Dallas, for example. We don't have that kind of plan in place where you could, if it, of course, hopefully it doesn't happen, but let's take Dallas for example. There was a epidemic outbreak of a coronavirus in Dallas. No, the government could not shut down the city of Dallas. It wouldn't happen. People would still be traveling in and out. We don't have the infrastructure in place, nor the emergency management in place to do something like that. And on top of that, a country like China, most Asian countries are ethno-states, so they're basically pretty much one culture, one race. Even though China has like I think 7 different dialects, the two main ones is of course Mandarin and Cantonese. But when they look in the mirror, they see a Chinese person, an Asian-looking person. Unlike here in the U.S., we are pretty much a multi-culture country. Of course, whites being the majority, 62%. Asian being 5.2%. Blacks is like 12.2%, and Hispanics are somewhere around 15.4, somewhere around there. So of course the Chinese are all coming together, brothers and sisters. Let's take care of this. Let's get this. Let's get through this. In the U.S., you couldn't have a city shut down like Wuhan where there's no one in the street. There would be lowlives out. What's called? I was trying to think of looting, and rioting, breaking in stores, and cops will have to go out there, and kill some of these people or crack their heads. So again, don't listen, because I didn't know. I was one of those folks like, darn Chinese eating bats and getting coronavirus. Now we're all going to die. Until I started reading up on it, it's like, well, okay, so that's not the case. That's fake news on the internet that someone started and it spread like wildfire. Again, the Chinese government at this point just assume that it's an animal to human cross, and they don't know what animal it is at this point, and I don't think they really care at this point. If it is an animal, what animal it is, if it is human, animals to human, because now it's going from human to human and it is airborne. And I do have about 4 or 5 of the N95 mask. Is in the garage. I use it for when I do yard work and there's a lot of dust, or if I'm doing something in the house that's very dusty. And of course I got it from Home Depot. You can get it from Lowe's, Home Depot. I believe they're still there. I don't think people are making a run for the N95 mask. I also have the paper mask that I got at Daiso, and I sometimes just put that on and throw it away when I'm done. I think I bought a box of it comes with like a box of 50. You can get them at Daiso, and then it's like $3.99 or something like that, or $2.99. So it's not very expensive. But of course, if you go online, Amazon or eBay, they're all gone, and of course it's people here in the U.S. or Chinese relatives here in the U.S. buying them up. Some of them are hoarding it, and some of them are thinking about. Because I thought about that. I went online and said, "Oh shit, man, they're all gone." Well, because I do have relatives who are in the Guangzhou district, which is like Guangzhou is like 30 million people. No, actually 100. Yeah, the province of Guangzhou, which Guangdong, which includes Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and some other mid-sized cities. But Guangzhou being the big city, there's like just that province alone has 100 million people, and they're pretty close to the province that Wuhan is in, and I forget the name of that province. But of course, I think when I say close, a plane flight I think is like a five hours, so it's probably not that close. And if you take a train, it's like a day's train trip. So I guess on the map it looks close, but I guess if you actually travel, a 5-hour plane flight would be like I'm here in Texas. That would be like a flight from what was it, 3 hours, somewhere around a 3 to 5 hour flight. That's like flying from Texas to like Washington, which is pretty far. So I guess I don't know, man. On the map, this looks real close. So yeah, so right now, in Wuhan, but the rest of China, restaurants and stores are reopening. But if you go into any public places like stores, restaurants, you have to have some sort of mask on, whether it be the cheap paper mask or the N95 rated I guess respiratory mask. And and of course I used that. I think it was during the summertime when I was sprinkling the diatomaceous earth on my bean plants that had what do you call that, an infection from aphids. So I put that on, and was, of course I wore glasses too. I was sprinkling that all over, and it worked pretty good. I didn't inhale any diatomaceous earth, didn't get any into my eyes. So yeah, so if you got some of that mask, I would hold on to it in case hell comes to Frogtown. that movie with Roddy Piper. So yeah, in case hell decides to come to your town, you at least got that. I have enough for myself, and of course the dogs won't need it because I don't think it would transmit from. Well, it could transmit from human to animal, but anyways, yeah, the dogs won't need it. Just the humans will need it. Oh, okay, and again, if don't believe all the information on the internet. And again, I guess in closing, some people are saying that the numbers that the Chinese government are giving of the infected and those who have died is actually 3 times what they're saying, and for that I don't know if it's I'm going to go by whatever number they give. If they're saying 12,000 people have been infected, over 120 people have been killed. Of course, the number is going to grow, and hopefully, of course, here in the U.S., the flu virus itself in the U.S. has killed over 20,000 people in the U.S. just this year alone. That's just the regular flu virus. So of course, the people most affected are going to be the elderly, the young, and people with pre-existing condition. So I guess if you're between the ages of I don't know, 14 to maybe 55, and you don't have a pre-existing condition, you would probably survive the coronavirus infection. You would definitely survive a common flu or common cold or flu infection. And yeah, like I said, hey, don't be a bigot. Look into this information. Yes, Asians. I do agree, Asians, because we do eat. From the Western viewpoint, yes, Asians do eat weird food or different food than Westerners. But to counter that, Asian folks aren't the one that's pushing their views, their culture, or their food onto the West. It's the West that's doing that. And of course, you don't have to worry about the Asian folks doing that. What you guys, what we in the West have to worry about would be the white liberal, pushing the eating insects, worms, bugs, insects, maggots, and worms, and they'll have you eating it before you know it, and they'll have you eating it whether you want to or not. Example being the soy burger that Burger King is pushing. They're showing a commercial of people eating, going, "Oh man, this is so tasty! It's soy burger." You're basically, every mouthful is a mouthful of estrogen. And here in Texas, we got a local chain. It's kind of like our version of, I guess you could say, in the north they got White Castle. Here in the south, specifically Texas, we have a Whataburger. And they came up with their own soy burger, and they had their own commercial to come out. It was kind of similar to Burger King, where they showed these people eating it and going, "Wow, this burger's really tasty." And I was like, "Oh, it's actually a all vegan burger, but of course you're eating a soy burger." And the soy burger's been around for decades. It's just that it's been relegated to California, where they eat all of the soy fake meat, fake soy, turkey infused soy, pork flavor infused soy, beef flavored infused soy. It's like, why even bother? Just go ahead and eat turkey, pork, beef, whatever meat of your choice. But yeah, that's just an example. You're eating a soy burger, and you're not even knowing it. So I'll cut the video here, and again, hopefully we get through this, and there's no infection that's come to Texas that I know of. It's over. I think there's one in Illinois, one in Washington, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a whole bunch in California that hasn't even been caught yet. Because if the person gets sick and they don't go to the doctor or to a hospital, you're not going to know. And especially if a person coming back from Wuhan, and again, if they get a homeless person or a transient, someone who's homeless and just passing through the area. That's how a plague is going to start, and we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen, and that's it. And again, this is my support for my Asian brothers and sisters over in China. Hopefully you guys get through this. Wuhan, you guys hang in there, and don't listen to these people. Don't go out and apologize for a video you made 5 years ago eating a bat. Again, this is just fake news spreading around the internet. All right, thank you guys.